But what about, okay, you gave us a picture of the Most High. That
I knew.
Right. The Most High. You gave us a picture of him, that being his title. Now, I'm speaking for myself. I don't know if anybody has ever seen them or is him or whatever they want to believe.
Right.
But I have never come in contact with this being.
Right.
So that would therefore still put me in a belief state.
Right.
I'm believing that this being I knew exists. I have no contact with him.
Correct.
So my question is, how can you question the existence of this person?
You should question the existence because you haven't had the experience. You should. I'm saying don't accept that that's a picture of a new. But listen to this. If Michelangelo can paint an image of God, you follow that? And then you read a book because Board of Education demands that you do, and he stamps in your mind that image of God, regardless of what I tell you about the Most High and the Supreme Being. I'll just make it clear to you, so you can see what I'm saying. All right, listen to this. We do this all the time, right? You with me? I want everybody here to say Jehovah. Good. Very strong. Elohim. Elohim. Good. What picture do you see in your mind of a person or persons when you say Elohim? Don't lie. None. Ready? Michael Jordan. What? Do you see somebody in your mind? You see a human being, don't you? Now, when Michelangelo does the Michael Jordan and wear force to still do the Elohim, is that what I'm saying? He is now implanting an image in our mind that regardless of where we are and what we do, we will always reflect back on God as Michelangelo drew it. When I do this here. You see that finger? You see the picture of the hand where the hands meet? Like this? That's in my mind. I get this impression now. Watch this. God. You start getting the first thing is an older man with a voice like this. I am God. That's what 20th Century Fox and most of the movie industries have done. They gave God a voice. And he usually has a British accent, even with movies shot in America. If he's going to speak English, he got to speak the Queen's English, because God speaks with a dialect. But whether that was thought out, I don't know. But the reality is, God has a voice. God has a hand. His son, see that? God's son, who is that? Would somebody describe Jesus for me, from what you know in your mind? Hey, was anybody here a Christian? All y'all Christians? Could you describe Jesus who was on your grandmother's wall? Okay, not now, okay. Well, I'm still a Christian. So, for me, could you describe the picture of your grandmother having on the wall?
He had like dark brown hair, blue eyes, pale looking, white robe. He had like...
Was he doing this?
Yeah.
Was he doing this? Was he doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't just give us a face, they also gave us choreography. Right? Yeah, he has certain things he does. And now, when you see the Pope knows the choreography. So the Pope goes by and does this. And when he does this, what comes to our mind is we superimpose Jesus Christ over the Pope, so we don't look at it, how old and decrepit he's starting to become. We do, and we see in our mind's eye the image that Michelangelo or whomever. Now the Jehovah's Witness, if you open their books, like the sister said, they have their own drawing of Jesus. Jesus doesn't have shoulder-length hair. In the Jehovah's Witness book, he has a nice haircut. I don't know when he gets his hair cut, but he got a nice haircut. He has a Midian, it's called a Midian trim according to Torah. When you wear your beard like this, it's like mustache. That's a specific beard. It represents a specific culture. It's called a Midian trim as opposed to the big beard. Jesus wears a Midian trim. So Jesus, according to Jehovah's Witnesses, goes to a barber. Somebody cuts Jesus' hair. Scissors can cut God's hair. You get the drift? God is infallible, but scissors can cut his hair. Did Jesus have to cut his nails in the 33 years he lived? Did Jesus sit down and eat? What's one of the things Jesus ate? What's that? What else? When he got to the upper room, he said, I want some meat. Jesus ate some animals that he created. Jesus had a lamb, piece of lamb. Let's say curry. Let's say Jamaica. He had a curry lamb. You see what they've done? First they give you this God supreme being complex, and then they slowly but surely give you what they call anthropomorphism, where they lay things over it, and it slowly but surely says God has a hand. God is watching you in God's heart. God spoke through his lips, the face of God. God listened, the hip of God. Moses saw the back of God as Moses was coming up to Mount Sinai. God was turning the corner. It says in the Bible, he saw the backside of God. God had a lump. You understand what I'm saying? After they've given us this supreme being thing, then they slowly but surely take it apart in our minds. So we're confused. So if I'm a Baptist, I got a concept of God as a Baptist. The Mormons have a different picture of God. And what the Mormons do while they're putting God up there, they're also putting Joseph Smith. While they're putting God there, they got Joseph Smith holding the book doing his hair too. In their church. And his book is the Book of the Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Bible. So they give you the Bible, and then they pull you in with that Bible. And as they're getting you in, they're doing this. And then they whoo. The Muslims do the same thing. The Muslims lure you with the Quran, and as you're coming close, this hadith is coming like this. And when you get there, the Quran goes in the box, and next thing everything is about hadith this, sunnah this, Muhammad did this. The importance, sister, of having faces. People say, why do you draw Abraham? I draw everybody who I see. Say, how do I know you see them? You don't, so don't believe me. Right? You don't. Now, Abraham. You get a picture? Isaac, did you get a picture? Moses, did you get a picture? Muhammad, did you get a picture? I'm Michelangelo now, how does it feel? You know what I'm saying? How does it feel to do that to people? For you to take it upon yourself to personify God and angels, because there are angels all over the Catholic Church with wings like this. You know, to personify God, give him characteristics, and nobody questions it. And if I do it, you come to me and say, how you know Abraham looked like that? I would say, excuse me, did you go to church and ask them how they know Jesus looked like that? Well, when I do it as a question, everybody else, the Muslims had a fit when I did a picture of Muhammad. They were like, oh my God, Allah Akbar, boom. That nigga was bugging. And I was like, so I was supposed to wait until y'all draw an Arab version of Muhammad, and then I got to teach my son, that's Muhammad. But I'm supposed to wait for you to do that. And no. If I insult you, I'm sorry. No, I ain't doing that. Image is important. It's important for character building. And damn it, if I live in America for 400 years and don't none of the images with any good character reflect me, how the hell do you expect my kids to improve? How do you expect them to start feeling good about themselves when all the characters reflected about me is bad? Even Michael Jordan, with all he did, there's still this hidden thing about his father's death. Right? Even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, staying in basketball for a minute, with all he did, there's still that thing about the Washington Hamas group that he belonged to, that held Washington under. Sammy Davis Jr. had an affair, but they had to destroy his character. You understand? They had to destroy George Washington's character. They had to say, oh, George Washington had wooden teeth, traded slaves for liquor, he was an alcoholic. What's with this crap? With destroying characters. You know what it does? It leaves room to place in divinity of my choice. Whoever's controlling. You follow that? Here's some good ones for you. Mickey Mouse. How many people know what Mickey Mouse looks like? If you are under 35 years old, you don't know what Mickey Mouse looks like. You know the new Mickey Mouse. When we was kids, there was a different Mickey Mouse. The one that got Disney World is not Mickey Mouse. That's a new guy. Who knows Betty Boop? Tell me about Popeye. The one they put in the movie is not the original Popeye and Olive Oyl and Pluto. And who was the one who said, for a burger today, I'll gladly pay you tomorrow? Look what they did to Mr. Magoo. They've taken Mr. Magoo from a cartoon character and made him a person. Now when I say Mr. Magoo, I no longer see the cartoon. When I say Betty Boo, I know. When I say Popeye, when I say Batman, when I say Superman, I see Christopher Reeve. And there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with taking the primordial, the images of the people that only look like one race of people. That's wrong. In a world where there's so much racial tension, that's wrong, and it's not even logical, because it breeds danger. No, the first Barts had afros, because Bart Simpson was invented by a Negro. Did y'all know that? Yeah. And then he was brought out. Why? Why was it necessary to change him? Why couldn't he just leave the character? But I miss Michael Jackson. He cut off his nose. Minnie Riperton, Richard Pryor, drugs. Go ahead, Bill Cosby, his son. Nat King Cole died because he came down south. He had throat cancer. Came out one of my favorite artists. Came out the hospital because they wanted him to do a show down south. And when he got on the stage, Klan members threw bottles at him, knocked him unconscious. He went back in the hospital, and the doctor said, I get this if you get his state. He could have lived, but he was heartbroken and didn't want to live. Go check the story. He touched a very sensitive one there. He killed himself. That's how hurt he was. Do you know that people down south didn't like Elvis Presley? Did you know that? Elvis Presley was a nigger. He moved too much, they said, too much hip acting, too much of this stuff. And they did not like him until he was dead. That's another thing. They eulogize you when you're dead. Talk about all the good things you did and how nice you were. When even President Kennedy, after he was dead, oh, he was having an affair with Marilyn Monroe. He was hanged up with his brother Bobby was involved with the mafia. Marcus Garvey. What did they do to him? Does anybody know what they did to Marcus Garvey? Huh? They murdered him. Why? What's the image? Are you guys, when y'all have your first child, are you going to put Marcus Garvey's picture up on the wall and tell people, tell your kids, this is Marcus Garvey, he's a great man? Huh? Are you going to put Haile Selassie up on the wall? Why not? He's the Lion of Judah. Yes, it does. You're Jamaican. You see how we think? You see what I just did? That was it right there. We think all Jamaicans are Rastafarians, all Jamaicans acknowledge us like, that's part of the, I know it's not true. But the bottom line is that's what we believe, because that's what's been taught to us. In fact, when we see a black person who says they're a Muslim, the first thing that comes to our mind is, are you a black Muslim? Someone knocks on your door on Sunday morning with a suit on and say, no, I ain't sitting in Jehovah's Witness. I'm not a Jehovah's, I'm your uncle. What have they done to our minds? You've got to go into why it's important to become Michelangelo in his day and time. For everybody to rid this subliminal seduction. I can't. That's the thing I'm telling you. That's what I can't do. That's what's sad. I can't erase what Michelangelo did. But I can get there before the Mohammedans do. See, the Mohammedans set out to come to America to convert Americans to Islam. I know, because I'm one of them who came here as an Arab to convert people. If I'm saying to Islam, and part of that plan, right, was to implant in their mind Arab outlook, the Arab side. And that would remove the Americanism out of you and make it easy for you not to care about where you're standing when I'm throwing bombs at your ass. That's all part of the Arab plan. And that's why they wanted to kill me when I put out a picture of Muhammad. Because they didn't get a chance to put their image in their heads first. I beat them to it. And I said, this is what Muhammad looked like. And I said, Muhammad is not he's not a, you say he's not a what? Nigger? You want to say? God is sitting up there looking at y'all. Who denies it? Who denies God is sitting up there? Come on. I'm going to get y'all. Come on, let me say, y'all are hypocrites. Because y'all believe God is omnipresent. And the moment I say he's over there, y'all say he ain't. You see, you believe he's omnipresent. You believe God can be everywhere. But just because I'm saying he's over there, now he's not. But you know what? All over the world, people go to places like South America because someone says there's a statue of Mary crying. And people pack up their bags and run to South America and look and see condensation and fall down and start praying because they feel that God's mother, who didn't believe in him, had confined herself to the one statue in this one town, this one village, and they sit out there and have candles and oh, Jesus, oh. Jesus ain't even here. Mary's here, not Jesus. They read about it, and they really believe that something took place there. Now I say, God's up on that thing up there. He waved to me. Y'all didn't see him wave? You know why y'all didn't see him wave? I'm going to tell you why. Because y'all don't have him in your heart. See? This is the game. See, in order for you to have seen him wave, you would have to have been saved. You would have to have had him in you. See, he would have to have been down inside your heart. He would have to move around you and up inside you. Lord Jesus. You ain't got the Holy Ghost. So you can't see him. But I'm in touch with God. You see the game? And we can't get under it beating ourselves up. We got to get from under that crap. God is sitting up there. Hey, he's sitting right up there. That's it. Do you see him? Is he there? Where isn't he? Where isn't God? Then God is up there. And God is here and there and there and there and there and there and there. That's where God is at. So there's no place where God isn't. The people that bother me are the people that are trying to put God someplace. Our Father, who art in heaven. God can't fit inside heaven. God has a throne. God don't have a seat. Well, that's a metaphor towards heaven. God can't be in heaven. God can't be in and be God. You understand that? And that is a subliminal attack on your conscious and your subconscious that makes you misinterpret God as the being that exists. The love force, the harmony, the beauty, the concern. That's God. Now, where is God? The question should be, where isn't God? Not where is God, because God can't be any place. God can't be any person. God can't be anything. But God can be. You follow that? And all of us are in God. Now, is God in us? Only if we are in God. Otherwise, to separate him, take a portion of stuff that's inside here, is putting him in a person, a place, and a thing. That's what they don't want us to grasp. They want to give us the supreme being concept, and when we start to question, they make it his son, so we can have a focal point. And then that son is an image they want to put in our mind, and then that relates to the people that look like the image. And it's all over. You follow? If I come along and say Jesus is black, I'm a racist. That's the wrong thing to say. That's the wrong thing to do. Now let me answer the question. Are these the faces of the real people? Yes. Yes. That's it. Now, when you ask me, how can I prove it? I can't. I don't have to. You understand? The burden of proof is on you to bring me their real faces if that's not them. See, I beat you to the punch. You follow what I'm saying? I don't have to prove that that's not Abraham. You have to bring me the picture of Abraham. And then show me, and then tell me, I'm going to ask you. No. This is Abraham. You're going to say, no, this is Abraham. No, this is Abraham. This is Abraham. This is Abraham. That's it. See, that's what happened with the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Baptists. They all got a different Jesus. Will the real Jesus please stand up? So all of y'all, you have to get rid of all their images. And the only way to make people get rid of all the images is to come out with images that they don't like to see. See, as long as you're doing it to me, it's cool. But when I do it back to you, how does it feel? You know what I'm saying? When I say, no, Columbus didn't discover America, Rodney did. Who's Rodney? See, Rodney sailed before Columbus. He came from Africa. He sailed around this way. It was Rodney and Umfufu and Mustafa. Yeah, and Mustafa. They came here first. They were here. When Columbus came, they were the ones that said, how you doing, Columbus? Prove it's not true. You understand? The burden of proof. People will have to, what? What will they have to do? They'll have to start presenting the facts when you put them before it. If you don't ever put anything up, they'll tell us any damn thing. But when you start saying, prove it, prove Jesus existed, prove it. What have you found out, you Wapians? When you ask people to prove that a man named Jesus existed, give me proof. What have they done? They can't prove it. Say, show me something that the rabbis from any other village, anybody around Jerusalem, anything, anywhere where anybody can prove it. They can't do it. And they get mad at you because they never were asked questions like this before. That's what Daniel said in Daniel 7. In the end times, knowledge will become abundant. So wisdom is going to come out of the mouth of babes. Forget the Pharisees and the reverends and the smart-ass people. It's going to be the meek that shall dumb found the wise.